Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Titan Souls, episode 2. I'm keeping track of the episodes now because I'm just blazing through this game really quickly. First, let me go to the checkpoint because the checkpoint's going to be important. Here's another element of lore. I was talking about lore in my last episode, the end of the last episode. You have this here guy, skeleton kind of guy. I was talking about skeletons in my last episode as well. Skeleton kind of guy with a missing head. And if I briefly show it off, you have, if I just run this way, you have here another arena-like place. I wonder what it is. Oh, hey, look, it's the guy's head. Oh, jeez. This is annoying. This is something that's probably worth discussing. Was I talking about frame? Yeah. The dead zone on my controller, I think this is the game's fault, not my controller's fault, which is yeah, I know, real mature. But I think the game doesn't really implement any kind of dead zone on my control analog stick. So even the slightest variation, see, I'm not actually touching my controller. I've just sort of leaned it to the left. The slightest variation has me moving. Anyways, here's the next new Titan. This guy's a Titan. The weak point's the eye, and it's really annoying. This is one such Titan that's 3D, and the music, the way that starts, fuck. I love the way the music starts, just that start with a bwah, 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 and then it starts rolling right towards you. It's wonderful, it's amazing. I know I was saying last episode that, yeah, this area has my least favorite music, but hey, I still like it. Okay, let's do this again. I'm ready. Yep. Okay, now he's just going to roll towards you. Don't touch the fire hurts. The eye is the weak point. And the eye is dead. Too easy, am I right? This is one of those harder bosses because it's weird. Because it's 3D, his eye has to be sufficiently low enough to the ground in order to be shot. But because it's 3D, it's really hard to kind of control. And what ends up happening for me personally in my experience, you just sort of wait until you get lucky, or you keep repeating the same process over and over and over again until you find just the first 5 seconds of the battle, until you're able to like make him roll around in such a way consistently, repeatedly, where his eye, there's a window of opportunity where his eye is close to the ground that you can then abuse. This is the next, check behind the waterfall. Always check behind the waterfall. Similarly, this guy looks 3D, I guess it looks 3D. This game is made in Unity. Unity? No, hold up. I'm thinking about... Oh, Jesus. What have I done? Oh, dear. I am an idiot. I normally do not die this much. I'm just too busy talking about... games and game design. Also, the matter, for example, look how far you roll. Normally, this is a 2D game, so I believe with 2D games, you should be able to roll really fast. Rolling should be should be you moving faster compared to any 3D game like, say, Dark Souls or Monster Hunter, where rolling should be a burst of speed, but ultimately your overall velocity should be a little lower, because otherwise you just roll everywhere, which is okay to do with... I missed? Seriously? Which is okay to do with... Oh, you know what? I need to... Oh, of course! I was wanting to talk about Wind Waker. Because this is only something I recently noticed. Wind Waker. We all know Wind Waker, right? It was a landmark title on the GameCube. It was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I should say, for those of you who are perhaps unfamiliar with the Zelda series. And it was cel-shaded. And it looked so pretty. Okay, over to here, please. And see, now that my arrow is like inside of him, I can just keep sucking him. Boom. Done. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of the particle effects, very Wind Waker-esque, and you're going to notice them again. Just look at the particle effects surrounding the kid. Those swirls, yeah? I was talking about how the wind reminds me of Wind Waker. You saw the explosion, and this looks creepy because of the weird filter on that overlays that gives it the whole shimmering look, which is really cool because if I press start and go to options, you can see it also applies to the options bar at the very top. No, because now I want to talk about Wind Waker and Wind Waker's particles. The bomb effect, the really, really pretty bomb effect. This game was pretty much imitating it. It's created. It's not just. Oh, actually, if you look at if my rolling dust part. No, those are just circles. Okay, those are circles. Those are normal. Those aren't swirls. But Wind Waker, it has those characteristic swirls. Okay. Oh gosh, what have I done? I forgot how to do this. You have to go behind him 3 times. This is a weirdly designed boss fight. You have to go behind him 3 times in a row. And then he starts, doing topsy-turvy. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And I missed. Fantastic. And you see, even these flames, the smoke particles coming off the flames, are also that Wind Waker swirl style. or in that Wind Waker style. And it's cool. It's interesting because I was reading not a devlog so much, but I was reading more so a fan log. I think somebody had it would have been through the emulator. They would have been emulating Wind Waker, but they would have been going through, I guess it's called data mining. I think it's called data mining. And they found that those characteristic swirls that belong to Wind Waker, that are very characteristic of Wind Waker, it's not just the one type of swirl. There's like 7 of them. There's a total of 7. So the bomb explosion, there are 7 types. So people who have been trying to capture that Wind Waker feel since ages ago, since forever, ever since it was released, that cel-shaded style, perhaps erroneously, mistakenly, have been trying to achieve the same effect using only one type of swirl, when in actual fact Nintendo themselves used 7 different swirls. And there's also lots of little shortcuts with how the lighting worked for the cel shading, where you only cel shaded on one side depending on the closest light and or the global light. Now here we have another mural, another lore aspect, and you have the 3 titans which I just fought. The eyeball on the left, the flaming guy on the right, and the skeleton in the middle. And I believe his title was the Disgraced Titan, or the Disgraced Guardian. So already there's sort of like a story being built up here, and now I'm back in the main part of the overworld. There's a story being built about how, the world of this game and how it all fits with each other. Oh, here we are. And this is something very alarming, because you're not normally able to read the titles of the titans. There's only a select few of whose titles are made obvious, because they're written originally in a script. If I go to options, I can actually change the language setting to, if I hit left, it says Titan. I can actually read that. That's how much I've played this game. It says Titan. That's the script which everything in this game is written in until you've beaten the game and you're playing New Game Plus. First off, we versed this guy on the left. If we go down here, this was the guardian of the first gate. I think that's his name. That's the tutorial boss, who was, I should have mentioned. You remember how we fought an eye, a brain, and a heart? Well, the titan that we versed, the final boss, he was missing. He had holes where his brain is, where his heart is, and where his and he's missing an eye as well. So there's like that. Oh, look. And this is intriguing. This is very interesting. This is one of the titans that have their name in English right away. And you can see there's an arrow right there, much like my own. Excuse me. Losing my voice. And you have this guy. And if you can only really do this you need an analog controller, an analog right control stick to see this. You see him praying to a mural. Now, what could that mean? I'm guessing it has something to do with avarice. Avarice, that sin. Is it a sin or the vice? That deadly vice? Oh, I missed. I can't believe I missed from this range. Oh, you might wonder where I get that from, but I'll show you why. It's got to do with proximity. Now, this guy, legendary Titan Slayer, not unlike myself. So there's that whole sort of. Okay, this is the scary part. I missed. I was holding down the attack button for some reason. I should mention you can play this game on both controller and keyboard. Controller is really, really recommended. I did beat this game my first time on a keyboard. I enjoyed it enough to finish this game on a keyboard, and it was ridiculous. Some of the fights took an hour or 2 to do, simply because I like that fine control of being able. You can only aim at the 8 cardinal directions when you're playing with a keyboard. With an analog stick, you've got a full range of. I see. I should have been closer to him. Okay, do it again. Uh-oh, this is bad. That was horrible. Wow. This is one of those bosses I actually do genuinely. It's a bit of, for me, it's still personally a little bit of luck where either I get lucky and I do it in my first shot, or I don't. Oh yeah, this is worth mentioning. You have another Titan up here, up top, and another Titan to the right, wearing like a mummy's mask. Just remember that mask. That's all that matters. And I wonder what's underneath the mask. Oh, hint, hint, spoiler. Oh, and unfortunately, since I'm playing New Game Plus, we're not going to get a bit of a lore dump. There is an element of a lore dump in this game. Kind of. There is some explicit lore in this game, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it because I'm playing New Game Plus. Anyways, allow me to concentrate briefly while I try to dust this guy. Make him wish he was never born. Please. Oh, too easy. Missed. Whoop! Haha. Oh, Jesus Christ! This is probably very frustrating. I do believe this is probably the guy I still get my most deaths on. Now, enough of that. Oh, you know what? I can... Oh, Jesus. Pause. I apologize. I have to take a phone call. No, I do not. Actually, I can mute it. It's not important anyways. I just had a look at the number. It's probably a telemarketer. It looks like a telemarketer. If it's important, they'll call back. That's my motto. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So see, now that just bothers me because now I have to talk about it. Just ruins the commentary, which is already bad enough. Whee! No, I keep wanting to talk about the desaturation, the desaturated colors. You miss me. Get on my level. Get on my level. Get on my level. Get. Oh my god. How embarrassing. Okay, do it again. See, how come he gets homing arrows and I don't? Or not homing. That is way too far. Way too far. Let's try this again. And now he only has 2 arrows because he shot 1 arrow. Whee! Come over to here. I hate how it's bouncing off. Dead. Dusted, thank God, and it's over. Oh boy, it's over. And we're at the approximately the 10-minute mark, so I've got... Hopefully these episodes aren't too long. Oh, this is definitely worth mentioning. I've changed my digital audio workstation from Audacity to Audition. I've made the permanent move to Audition. So I've been playing around with it. So you're definitely going to hear different like voice levels and such. And look, it's kind of hot. You're definitely going to hear different voice levels. And hopefully better sounding voice, but do tell me, does it sound better? Does it sound worse? What could I work on? What's missing? Do I sound tinny or whatnot? Because I need that feedback, unfortunately. The thing is, the more you work on... When you start initially working on... Oh, yeah. By the way, this is normally closed. If you stand close, you can see the game sort of dims down a little bit and I've got that ringing sound. To open this, just you need to go over here. You can see this button thing. You're meant to press it and it opens. And now you're going to see why I talked about maybe it had something to do with avarice, because my theory is just based solely on proximity. You have this Titan, a literal treasure chest, named Avarice, manifestation of greed, and I suspect that maybe that's something that might have happened to Elhanan, the legendary Titan Slayer. He might have... That was actually Twitch reflexes. That felt so sick. He might have been legendary Titan Slayer like myself. He gave up a part of his soul or something in order to get this arrow that could kill Titans in a single shot. But then he succumbed to greed, and he's praying to this eyeball, or this eye again. And in fact, all these coins have an eye theme to them as well. So, I mean, that's just perhaps something there. Like I'm saying, there's definitely a backstory, or there's definitely lore to be had or to be found in the background. Unfortunately, there's not enough. It's not consistent enough. It's not rich enough, is what I'm saying. Enough there to have these crazy epileptic trees theories. If you know, if anyone was a fan of theories of Lost, there was one such theory where all the trees were constantly moving because they were having epileptic fits. And now that is the name of a trope. Epileptic tree, whatchamacallem, theories. Where people they make up really crazy fan theories. Anyway, this is right, left, up. That's for the Lost Woods, which, yes, and this is the Titan will unlock. Doing that, I'll just remind you, right, left, up. It's really easy to remember. Anyways, teehee. Yeah. Should I talk about desaturation of color? It's, saturation of color. A desaturated color, I believe, is color that's really, really, really bright and very vivid. Head up or head down? Head down. It's very vivid. Saturation is when the color starts to become a little bit more gray and more dull, which is funny. I might get them confused, but I'm going to talk about them in that way because I tend to really enjoy bright, vivid colors, and I say that I will unabashedly say I like colors. I like nice, colorful. I hate there's a period of time 6 years ago where, okay, see, this is one such example of a 3D made Titan. But it's not that obvious when you're playing the game, when you're not noticing it. But it's made in 3D, it's CG. And also you recognize the mask. If I go up to here and you look up, voila. The mask, assumedly, belongs to this Titan, who's also a skeleton, who was also one such, the disgraced Titan we thought was also a skeleton. And this looks like it's tuned, like you can have these. This is a graveyard. Outside it looks like there were tombstones, and these look like, I forget the word, but they look also like tombstones inside of the wall. I'm trying to show it off. And this guy's called the Murdered Guardian. And for me personally, my headcanon, my head theory is the disgraced Guardian killed the Murdered Guardian. I just sort of, that's what's going on in my head. And hence, that's why the disgraced Guardian became disgraced and was killed himself, executed, because missing a head, that's pretty execution style. That's just my 2 cents on it. Oh, careful. I missed. This was the first soundtrack that I completely fell in love with in this game. Because it's just gorgeous. And you can see also this moving Titan, he has his own, look at those particle effects. Similar style particle effects. Got him. Too easy. The music is fantastic, and oh my gosh, you missed out on the pseudo Latin. I should be really letting you listen to this music, because the music's fantastic. It's, yeah, it's like, I don't think it's Latin. I actually do know a little bit of Latin. I actually used to do a lot of Latin singing, so I know religious Latin. You know, for example, any Requiem. I know because every Requiem, I sung Verdi's Requiem, so I know a lot of the, you know, Dies irae, dies illa, solve seclum in favilla, testa David cum sibilla. I know that sort of Latin, which is very religious, like tuba mirum spargent sonum. But I mean, I can't speak it. I'm not very good at speaking it, in case you were wondering. But I understand it. And this game has I'm calling it. It has lyrics which sound very. It sounds Latin, but I'm pretty sure it's not Latin. It's very pseudo-Latin. Here's another mural. This is a mural of the next Titan. And you can see the eye on top. You know, just for the sake of being holistic and complete. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't revive between replays of the game. And the music here is also very mellow and fantastic. So, I was saying, I do enjoy, generally, I love bright colors. I'm a fan of it. But then this game comes along, which has intentionally slow. These colors are dulled, or which up here. They're a little bit dull. And they're like this green grass. It's not green. It's green definitely, but it's like a little bit gray as well. It's a little bit saturated. I believe that's the word. It's saturated a little bit. Might be desaturated, but I'm assuming it's saturated according to my definitions. Because did I double bounce? And you can see now climbing up his beard. Like sure, this hedge-like stuff is greener, but it's still kind of not vibrant. It's still kind of grey. And the thing about doing that, and you can see there's an eye on top, what ends up happening is as you're climbing this guy, he starts talking to you and he starts, depending on which Titans you killed, he says different things. Like sometimes he'll ask, like, what did you give up for that arrow on your back, in your quiver? Other times he says, first there was chaos, then he was the first, all the Titans came from him, and then humans came from the Titans. Anyways, you climb up to the top of him, he opens the eye, says, go ahead, kill me. You kill him, you absorb his souls, and you move along. That's how that works. And it's a bit of a wham line, because this is the only point of explicit explanation or lore, and it's also, I suppose it's meant to kind of make you think about what are you doing, why are you killing these Titans. They're not even trying to harm you. Kind of like Shadow of the Colossus style, they're not harming you, but you're nevertheless stealing their souls. I'm assuming that's what those white things are. But then there's also the question that brings up, like, what are you even doing with these souls? What are they for? And is there such a thing as too much? Is it because in Shadow of the Colossus it's made very explicit that, you know, what you're absorbing from the Colossi is not, it looks very malicious. Whereas in this game, it looks very nice and pretty and happy and soft and pleasant. But then you kind of ask the question, what are these? What are they for? What do they do? And then at some point, especially at this point, you begin thinking, is this good? What is it? You know, that kind of deal. Maybe I'll finish my point on saturation. Because saturation is a really good way to add a little bit of mood to the game. And in a game like this, Titan Souls, I'd assume you'd rather focus on really nice, bright colors, I would argue. I would say. But then it goes ahead and the artist, rightfully so, saturates it a little bit. And it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. The art style in this game, the music in this game. I realize also we're approaching the 20-minute mark. So, you know, I'm just going to keep moving up a little bit. I'm not sure why it's so silent. I don't want to end the note with silent music. Yeah, here we go. Here we have it. Let's just climb up here. I'll just kind of show off the next area, because believe it or not, I'm almost finished the game. I might be able to finish the next episode. Over to the right, because I really, really, really want to let you listen to this music. I love it. My 3 favorite instruments, I remember talking about this in my Flame in the Flood: guitar, piano, and violin. I'm not necessarily in that order, in any order, just those 3 instruments. Now have a listen to this. This is also the title screen, technically. This is good music. And while we're listening to this, I'll just say thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate your viewership. Stay tuned. There'll be more Titan Souls in the future.